Welcome everyone to another episode of Dragons in Space, episode now number 44, I believe. We will be beginning tonight's episode hopefully with a probe trip to the moon. We had some issues with the landing last night, but I think I perfected the design before we wrapped up, so I'm hoping that we'll be able to now make that landing. In just a few moments while I'm working on a few things in the background just to make sure our stream performance is good. Alright, and that is done. Go ahead now and open to, well, of course I alt-tabbed the unpardonable. Let's do this. And get back to the menu. And there we are. Never alt-tab on Kerbal Load if you want to have a load screen. Alright, so now on to our stock Twitch campaign. New stock Twitch game. It was stock, but we've now added quite a few mods, as 1.3 has recovered. We've heard recently from Near Future Technologies maintainer that hopefully we'll be releasing the 1.3 version of that soon, so maybe we'll be able to get back to our old campaign soon. We were still much further advanced in that campaign than we are this one currently, with a lot more craft available, so I do look forward to getting back to that, especially with the all the improvements. We've also now got Kerbal Alarm Clock back, which is some really good news. We now can actually schedule our events in this particular campaign. Let's go ahead and load up our lander that we finished the other evening and see if it'll make a successful landing attempt on the moon's surface. For those of you just joining this episode, I'll highlight a few of the features of the craft once we have it loaded here. Now this looks like what it was before we made our modifications, so I'm going to go ahead and reload the actual non-autosave version. We had some thrusters on it for maneuvering and such. Alright, here we are. As you can see, we've added an SAS, a couple of RCS thrusters here. Giving a little bit more wiggle room on the fairing to make sure that it will be able to meet the new dimensions of the new craft. A lot of solar panels. And I'm trying to remember, I don't think we put any actual, oh yeah, that's right. The side tanks are now serving as monopropellant tanks, and there's about 200 units of monopropellant on board. That should help us stabilize when we're trying to land next time. Last time we weren't able to stabilize, and it caused us to tip over. So without any ado, we're going to try to land at the North Pole. We have already landed at the Midlands region on the moon with a different type of probe. That mission was successful, but last time we tried landing, we landed at the same spot and basically got no science for it. I need a better science organizer is what I really need in this game. Alright, so 5, 4, ignition, 3, 2, 1, lift off of the pad. We're going to be heading east, so we're going to do just a small adjustment to the course here. We have added upper stage pins to the boosters in order to provide atmospheric guidance to the craft, keep it from fully tilting over. Allow a slightly early tilt to a pro-apsis, or to an eastward ascent. I can't exactly say it's pro-apsis because the orbit is not exactly due east. Ascent looks really good. We're above 45-degree angle on our ascent angle, so we're going to go ahead and tip over just a little more. Plus our speed's getting up, which should allow us to keep our nose up despite the weight of the boosters and the solid fuel. Beautiful little vortexes coming off the fairing here. Getting some good acceleration. I'm going to stabilize now because we're about near booster set. And we will jettison our first stage boosters and engage our maneuvering thuds here. Now we'll engage the main liquid engine now that we're away from the boosters. Only a mild collision on separation. Nothing serious damage. Thuds are going to help us control our ascent a lot better than before we had them. Now just watch for our apoapsis to come up here. Now we've got a pretty wide orbit here, so we're just going to let the momentum carry us up to apoapsis so that we can circularize the orbit. We're only about 5 to 600 meters per second off from actual orbital velocity. That'll fall some as we approach the apoapsis, but we will fix that quickly. Okay, we're within 30 seconds of apoapsis, so this would be a good point for us to go ahead and start our burn. We're also going to go ahead and jettison the fairing to minimize the extra mass. Fairing gone, nice and clean. Throttling up. And orbit achieved. Alright, next thing I want to do is set a target on the moon. Alright, we'll probably want to start maneuvering once we get over to the dark side near the ascending node. We're a little off on the ascent node, but we don't care that much given that we want to go over or under the moon. That is not our actual craft, but this probe here is. That's a guy we need to recover from orbit eventually. Alright, now we're actually going to nose a little bit to the right of the eastern horizon on the nav ball. That's going to pull the orbit hopefully back into a more aligned position. As I said, we don't really care about being exact, but we don't want to completely miss the moon either. Alright, we're out of our first stage fuel, so or second stage, liquid stage fuel. So we're now up to third liquid stage. And that should take us the rest of the way. Still plenty of monopropellant left. If you're wondering about the thermal power and the megajoules, that's coming from our nuclear thermal handle rockets, which are extremely efficient. That'll be providing our movement on the moon. And what we need to do now is we need to get a close study of the moon and where this is going to pass. Now notice that I've got it directly colliding with the moon right now. So what we're going to do in order to make this go into a polar orbit so that we can land on one of the poles is we want to turn normal or anti-normal here. In this case I've chosen anti, just at random. Doesn't really matter which way we go. What we want to happen is we want that orbit to become skewed relative to the path of intercept. You'll notice that's happening quite nicely. This prevents you from having to conduct these maneuvers when you actually arrive at the moon. Now you'll notice I'm now on a very, almost perfectly, there we are, perfect polar intercept for the moon. I could literally come and land straight near the pole. I'm going to make some minor adjustments when we arrive there, but there aren't going to need to be too many. So we will now set the Kerbal alarm clock for a sphere of influence change for this craft. Now we will wait for that to happen. Now we will be passing in and out a CurbNet. When we get to the moon, we'll be relying on the moon's CurbNet satellite, which near the pole will hopefully be covered by most angles. And there we are, coming up on it right now. We also have the secondary satellite to assist. It's very close to the moon right now. I don't know that it's in range. Let's switch to that and just make sure its antennas are extended. Because that is a ComSat. Yep, the antennas are extended, so hopefully that will be within range of this satellite also. Yeah, we just made connection with it. Not sure how long I'll stay in range. Okay, we're about to hit that orbit change here. There we are. And that looks gorgeous. That is exactly what we want. Actually, can't say that entirely is true. There is one way this could be better. And that was a little bit more than I expected. We need the periapsis to be about 10,000. We want to be able to skim just over to make sure that we're landing on a landing zone that has nice flat terrain. That should be good. We'll be flying in fast over the pole. Alright, as I said, flying in fast over the pole here. Now we just got to angle so that we're in opposition to our path. Now what this will allow us to do is it'll allow us to set where we land. Love how the camera wants to spin. Oh, we're right over the pole, that means. So that means we need to be doing this. Complete momentum counterburn. We want to go back a little bit the way we just came to make sure that we are at the pole. Or at least very close to it. I think we're over it. Let me just double check here. Polar lowlands. I don't think we have it actually landed at the polar lowlands though. We gotta watch our altitude to terrain. We're about 5,000 meters off the ground. That's not a lot of burn time. We're almost out of oxidizer, but that's not a problem. We still have another stage left to this. Matter of fact, we'll go ahead and dismiss this last stage. And there we go. Final stage is away. Now this last stage does not have a high TWR for the moon. We'll have to attempt to counter our momentum before we get to the surface. This is going to be close. I think we're going to make it. We are good. Flat slope, nothing serious. We are on the ground. Excellent. Still in range of coordinates, so all is well. Beam home our temperature scan. Oh, and since we have nuclear engines on here, we don't have to worry about running out of power. Beam home the atmospheric scan. Beam home our mystery goo. And finally beam home our material study. Just turn off the generators so they don't overheat. Although I am kind of concerned we're on a piece of terrain that may never see sunlight. Now, if we can see it curving, we will eventually see the sun. Probably put on that heel to be on the safe side. We'll do that right quick before shutting them all down. Need to head slightly to the east. Alright, so we know that we can get direct sunlight here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Almost bounced over. Direct sunlight confirmed. Direct sunlight confirmed. Shutting down all reactors. And the radiation temperature is steadily falling. So I don't think that should be a problem anymore. Pole Proglander 1 is its new name. This thing can also be used to conduct all the temperature surveys we want of the moon. Let's see if we got any missions we can do while we're up here. Yeah, we have plenty we could do. Which field do we have? Loads of it. There's several clustered together out there. We'll go ahead and do that mission now while we're here. No reason to keep this thing here. We're going to rename this to a I think we will allow them time to cool off. They're rather hot. I want to check something here. F5 quick save right quick. I don't know if we can restart these once we shut them down. And apparently we can't reactivate them. Oh, the temperature is still dropping on it quite quickly anyway. So I'm comfortable with that for now. Go back to the Space Center. Leave that to cool off. Then we'll do our missions. Yeah, I've been great, Bama. Thanks for asking. Good to see you again. All right, let's see what we can get with the new science we just picked up. Miters are kind of important. An electric screwdriver. Trying to see if there's anything we can get to give us more science. But I don't think we have an option that does right now. Although we do need those labs ASAP. We need 80 more science to get the labs. Yeah, Bum, I'm actually in the process of closing on a house. Getting a new home in a new city. Kind of exciting times over here. That's why I've been missing a couple of days of broadcast here lately. Yay, we got an adjusted satellite position mission. Easiest missions in the world. And we've got a new satellite mission for the moon. It'll help with our coverage of the moon when we're landing there. And another Minmus satellite mission. Go ahead and pick those three up. Okay, let's go ahead and adjust the orbit of the one that it wants us to tweak the orbit on. Wow, that's a pretty large change. It wants us to come up here and then radically pivot the orbit on its axis. It'll take a while for that to get to that position because of the fact it's so high up. So we want to put an alarm clock tag on it so we can do other things while we're waiting for it to get to that spot. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a maneuver node just short of it. Now we're up there. We'll do time to maneuver node. That isn't what I meant to do at all. I'm going to drag it up here next to the intercept point. But it shouldn't be too far off. Okay, so now that alarm is set, back to the Space Center. Okay, so check our missions here. This is our basic constant we've been using. Confirm for local control. I think we'll go ahead and send this one to the moon. Gotta be kind of careful with this one. We don't have the upper stage fins on it. Also, I think this one's good. Yeah, we needed to fix that. It's out of alignment on the connectors. Well, hopefully that fixed that alignment issue. Yeah, nice and even. Now we're just going to fix everything else that it broke. Go ahead and do this as well. Oops, not what I intended. What I intended to do was copy these. Now it should be nice and straight, except for the launch pylons, which are fine the way they are. We'll need to reconnect our struts here. And there we go. Properly refitted. Alright, and here we go. Now this launch delivery system is very similar to the one we use for our probes. We actually got a template for it in the... Speaking of which, we need to fix that template too. We want to resubmit it because it had the boosters off alignment. I'll do that once we get finished this mission, get this satellite to the moon. Our orbit's looking great. We got a 45-degree ascent angle or greater, which is what we want. We've got to be careful with the aerodynamics. We don't want Overnosed it. At least I took care of that problem. I gotta fix this. This is not good. So we're using an out-of-date vehicle, launch vehicle. We're going to have to fix that. So let's go ahead and we're going to reload that lander that I created. Since it has the up-to-date launch vehicle. Actually, there's even some improvements we can make to this design. For example, I'm not really sure why I decided to use the junction to the smaller bearing. That doesn't really do a lot for it. The only fairing type I have yet. That's why. I only got a 1.25 diameter bearing shell for the moment. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back into sub-assemblies. I want to kill this because it's dead. Now, where's the mount point for that? I know it's in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're going to take this connector here. So this is our satellite launch system 1. I want to control Z and then delete the original. Hello. Well, I suppose we can just reload the Moonlander 1 probe. Like so. Alright, so that's back to normal. Go back to the ComSat, give its new delivery system. Alright, so for this one, we're going to delete the old delivery system here. Bearing's going to have to be rebuilt. I suppose that'll work. Looking beautiful. Alright, let's use this new launch system to get this thing airborne. Well, semi-new, slightly used. ignition, 2, 1, liftoff. This time we're not going to nose over so far. That was a huge mistake. We do want to get our forward momentum going though, so we will angle over slightly. I think we'll maintain this till about 20,000 feet, or 20,000 meters, I should say. Metric units, not imperial. Bad maelstrom. That weird anomaly on the background texture back here. Still not sure what that is. And we have semi-clean booster set. Get nothing major damage. Engaging primary liquid booster. At altitude, we're at high enough altitude. I can now safely remove the fairing. So there goes the fairing. I just have to wait for our periapsis to come up to roughly the same height as our apoapsis. And that's the end of liquid stage 1. We're now up to liquid stage 2. I like to set a lunar intercept orbit. We also need to get an idea of what orbit it wants us to put this thing in. Perfect westward antigrade orbit. Shouldn't be too hard. Still on the equatorial plane. So we're there right now. Moon is way over there. It's going to be a while before I'm actually able to set the orbit correctly. I'm going to need to be around to about right here. Right at its apoapsis, basically. That comm range, really? There we go. Let's say we have like almost complete and total coverage of Kerbin. Now that we have intercept, we can zoom in on the moon to see where the intercept's going to be at. Alright, so first off, we need to have a westward, not an eastward orbit. So we want to rendezvous with it at a point where it's going to drag. Gravity of the moon is going to drag the satellite in the opposite direction. We want to have apsis that looks like a periapsis of around 170,000, so we want to try to set for an entry altitude of about that. Fine tune it with RCS here. You'll notice I don't use maneuver nodes. I'm doing this pure straight on eyesight. And now I've got a perfectly fine-tuned intercept. Now we can set an alarm on this one for sphere of influence change. But wait, there's more. Now that we've got that one in progress, we can now go do Memphis and get it started. Something broke with the collecting of the boosters. Looking good. Go ahead and launch the next one. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this thing in here. Same flight profile as before. Whoa, what happened? Not sure why I did that. Nothing should have prompted it to do that. I think it has a bug. Just randomly went off course. Try this again. Um, okay, that booster separation went absolutely horribly wrong. I may still yet have to make some tweaks to that booster design. I think what happened is when we rotated and changed them, it may have made it unstable. Well, I think it may have put the separators out of alignment. We may have to correct that. I think we can still make order with this satellite though, and possibly even make it all the way to amendments with it still. We're going to try anyway. Down to our last engine here. Well, made orbit. I don't think we're going to be able to make it to Mimas on that. Surprising a lot of Delta V on this delivery. Oh wow. I think I should have left it the way it was. Wiggling it into the right orbit. 3 missions ongoing at the same time. This little monster. Fun. Big. I don't think we need that at all anymore. It's very little clearance for that engine. You may be wondering what I'm up to now. I'm thinking that we can get more tech from around the base. We're going to attempt that. That should work much better. Now I don't want to obstruct that gimbal. That should be good. We may need a few more intakes for this thing. It's slightly larger than that. That would likely be too big for the Kerbal. As an alternative to that, we need some side-mounted intakes. Eliminates the need for those. Give this a try first and see how it works. Now, this is just going to be a simulation. This isn't actually going to be a mission. We're just trying to see how this thing's going to perform. The new configuration. Too heavy. You just got too much liquid fuel on it. Yes. Alright. Need more air intakes. Simply not getting enough air. That might do it. Also provide air if it starts going in reverse. Or when it's descending. Just barely too much fuel. The thrust is right. It's literally hovering at ground level at this point. It's starting to rise. Oh crap, I forgot about parachute. The parachute makes for an interesting control mechanism. Let's test that chute right quick and try one more time. I'm also going to go ahead and dump about 50 units of fuel. Maybe you'll do. 10% fuel drop should do it. Get it airborne. One other thing, let's go ahead and set a toggle on the afterburner. And there we go. He is airborne. Now, real question, how precisely can she both control and land? Hey, CFT, happy late night to you too. Trying to land this baby. The VTOL. VTOLs are not easy to maneuver. Success! Mind you, we've been here before. I was just testing to make sure we could still do it with this one. I like this version a lot. The Panther engine makes it extremely maneuverable. Easy to land. Well, for a VTOL. I don't think there's any local tech we haven't picked up yet, but we're going to go just crawl around and see if there's anything we need to grab. What do you think of this design, T? Ever seen anything like it? We'll try to land it on the... Let's see, which one do we want to try first? I think we'll do the astronauts building. Oh no, we'll do top of the research lab. We're going to go for a rather rapid drop. The reason for that is very simple. We got 1,000 altitude above ground. Now what we're going to do for a quick break is we're going to engage the afterburner as we get close. Ooh, that was harsh. But hey, we made it. Not exactly the best place in the world to land. All that debris on the roof. I think the only space we would have had that might have been somewhat safe to land would have been over here. But look at all this data. It was worth it. Totally worth it. Oh, crud. See if we can get this thing turned over without blowing it up. Oh, crap. Wow. No engines to win yourselves out with, so we're kind of screwed in that regard. Trying to wiggle roll free, but it's not working. I guess we're going to get Jeb back and get the craft back separately because he's got to pick up the stuff on here, and I don't think he's going to be able to get back to the cockpit. No, we don't need to revert recover. Find a way to do this thing. Grab it, Jeb. Grab it. Whoa. Okay, so let's see. How am I going to do this? He's going the distance. He's going for speed. I didn't think I. Yeah, we're just going to have to recover them one at a time, like so. Cover Jeb first. And then recover the hopper. Alright, so that got us up to 1,000 or 144. We need 160 to get our lab, so we need to do another hopper mission. I think this time we'll try landing on the recruitment center. Alright, here we go. Perfect. That one we had no trouble at all with. Teague, our old save from before 1.3 doesn't have near future technologies. Near future hasn't been updated yet, so this is a new game, but it's under acceleration, meaning that I've got the money turned up on it until we get the near future technologies updated. Which Nortia updated the near future technologies thread on the forum today and said he was nearly done. He was putting some finishing touches on a couple of command pods, so I'm hoping that we'll have our old save back soon. But for right now, I'm experimenting with some new fun craft, and I think I'm going to keep this one in the old save when we get it loaded up. Apparently, this one doesn't quite count as a alternate biome like the other did. That's okay. We'll just hop over to the other roof in front of us. And I also did only recently discover that the Space Center actually has all these amazing biomes. I did not know that every single rooftop could potentially be one. I don't think this one has a safe spot to land. We're just going to have to do our best to land as straight as we possibly can. Oh my, that was rough. Alright, and this one is also not a distinct landing zone. So we will revert that one to launch. And then we'll try for the space plane hangar. But yeah, once we get near future technologies back, we'll have the Phoenix 2 project and everything back. Then hopefully we can continue on our grind on that one. But for right now, this is our holdover. The roofs, most of them have one, and I think every single satellite dish over at the radio center has one if you can find a way to land on the satellite dish, which is why I created this hovercraft here. Meant to get into odd places. Or at least that's the intent. I think this one's going to be right on target. I'm going to have to do a quick braking burn on the afterburner when we get close. Don't want to land at too high of a velocity. That worked perfectly. Not too perfectly, in fact. Almost started going back up again. Good job. Alright, this one only has that, so we'll just recover it with that science. It doesn't report anything on the blood pressure data. Oh, because it's already collected. Alright, so we're done with that one. I didn't know the bridge is one. If the bridge is one, I want to try to land on the bridge. That'll be fun. If I can land on the bridge. Yeah, I've already collected the flag. I knew about the flagpole. I also didn't know the fuel tanks were a biome too. You can land on the fuel tanks and get their data. Alright, so let's go try to land on the bridge over at the science department. Now I have to leave the nav up here because trying to land VTOL without it's just about nuts. Oh, this is not going to be easy. That thing is thin. Think I can do this thing? I'm not so sure that I can. Holy crap. Well, I'm on it. It don't look like a bound though. Is that the right bridge? It is the right bridge, correct? Is that the one you were talking about, T? Or is there a different one? I'm trying to see if there are any others, but I don't see any others. Is it because I'm not under the bridge and I'm on top of it, do you think? Your pictures? What do you think of this? Is that supposed to be a bomb? Is that bridge supposed to be a bomb, to your knowledge? It definitely isn't giving me anything to collect. It's acting like it's part of the main R&D main building, like it's part of the roof. That's the one you're talking about, I think. Oh, here we are. Side lab, observatory, wind tunnel, corner lab, central building, small lab. Thanks. Wow, there's a lot on this. I want to bet that's the observatory right there, this big dome thing. And I bet I can land on that with this. Give it a try. It'll be kind of iffy, but it'll be worth doing. Whoa, 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 whoa! I bounced off it. Bounced off it. Ouch. That's not good. Boom! Ow. That hurt. Mama, I hope you're here because you just got your booms. Driving a VTOL is like an art form. This is not easy at all. Especially trying to land on the top of a frickin' sphere. Very little room for mistake. If you don't land precisely on top of it, you're going to slide off each side. Oh, that was annoying. I almost had it. jeez. Oh, this is not a simple maneuver. Thank you for the follow. For those who are just joining us, we're attempting to land on top of the Research Center Observatory with a VTOL craft designed to do so. The only problem is it requires pinpoint accuracy. I've got an idea. We're going to make use of the chutes. Kind of a little bit cheating, but what can you do? Trying to land on a sphere. A frickin' sphere. Think we got it. Come on. Do this thing. No, don't slide off, don't slide off, don't. Ah! Oh, that was so close. I am disgusted. Hey, there's still tech here we don't have. Just it's not on the roof. Whoa, what was that? I didn't know that a Kerbal climbing a vehicle could destroy its nose cone. That's a first. Checking. I believe I did. Yep, I did. Now, the more important thing is we now have the 160 science we need for Mobile Processing Lab. Alright, let's try this one more time. This time I'm going to go straight for the chute landing on top of the dome. We're not even going to fiddle around with trying to land it manually because that was just way too difficult. And I think the reason we slid off the dome the last time was, yeah, the loss of that landing leg. I'm not sure if there's anything we can do, though, to make it any more likely to stabilize on the dome top. except for maybe one thing. We're going to slightly rotate in these landing legs to make it want to grip a circular surface like so. Now this will be interesting. I'm wondering if angling the legs like that's going to prevent it from sliding as much on that dome. Dome landing attempt, take 3. It's going to be landing by chute assistance. Get the direct center of mass directly over the dome and kill engines. Now I need to adjust slightly for the overage. I think I got it this time. Get all engines and just let it fall. It's about as good as it's going to get. Well, what the? It bounced and it kept braking. Fascinating. Alright, I got another idea. I think narrowing the landing base was actually the opposite of what we wanted to do. We're going to use the inlets that these are mounted to. Make a much wider landing base. Yeah, it was less than the required landing speed. I have no idea why it wanted to explode at that point. Beyond me. Now, the only problem with using these to extend the legs out is that it also blocks their inflow. So that may not be viable as an option. We may just have to rotate the legs out manually. That should still give the engine plenty clearance. This will be our last attempt. If this don't work, I give up. It may be that something is fishy with that dome that makes it like to make things explode on contact. Maybe the contact surface being round is an issue with the kaleidoscope. That may be a factor here. I do know that round surfaces tend to be unstable when they come into contact with each other or with tangential objects. So, that could play with it some. It's just not staying on the top of the dome. It wants to slide off whatever side it leans to. Unless you got a perfect mark on the top of that building, it would not stay up there. The unfortunate thing is that when the craft first lands, any craft in Kerbals really, it wants to bounce just slightly. Slight rebound from it impacting whatever it's coming into contact with. It may not be possible to land by chute on that. We may have to gently ease this down at less than like 1 to 2 meters per second in order for it to successfully make contact and stay stable. RCS would probably help. I don't have any on here at the moment. I said that was going to be our last attempt, but I changed my mind. I want to try it one more time. I want to try it one more time as a manual landing. If this does not work, I'm simply going to give up. I'm also going to look for a different spot to land. Maybe there's a flatter spot on the roof here, like that little lip there. I'm thinking maybe might work. No, that lip is not actually a flat surface. Maybe something I could catch on, though. Hopefully without exploding like on that little thing on the side there. The railing on the side keeps blowing us up. Also possible the two little flat spots next to it on either side may also serve as landing points. Hey, that, ooh, almost had it. Oh. Did I get it? No, it bounced. Frick. Ah! Every time it bounces, never fails. It ejects you off it. Phew. I want to try to land on the flat part next to it and see if it still counts as the dome or not, as the observatory. My best bet is it probably does not. And they probably do that to make it incredibly hard just to land there. Maybe I should try to land with the wings instead, because that would be good for a flat surface. These winglets here, their shape, be good for gripping the top of a ball. Alright, so we're not going to try for the ball this time. We're trying for the building that's just adjacent to it. Right in there. Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? Now, where does this think we're at? We got it! Woohoo! Not exactly the easiest place in the world to land in. As long as I can get, I think I can get him out. Yeah, I can get him out. Okay, so you don't have to actually land exactly on top of the ball. Important to know. As they say, any landing you can walk away from and your craft hasn't broken in is a good landing. That's not an easy spot to land in. That's like trying to hit a postage stamp. Check our alarm clock here. Made me spend a whole lot of time. We're just making loads of science. Now that I know that all these research missions are here, I think I'm going to try to hop over to as many of them as I can. Welcome to those joining the stream. We're just in the process of collecting science around the Kerbal Space Center from different biomes that people may not even be aware exist. All right, so where's the next one? Let's take a look here. R&D side lab, and wind tunnel. Looks like we're going back to the research lab again. So the next thing I'm going to ask is, what is the side lab? Is it that thing there, that little thing, or that small lab? Where's the wind tunnel? Got a funny feeling this is probably one of our side labs. Let's try it and see what it does. Whoa. A little bit out of control there for a second. We'll just knock our speed down a little bit so we'll start losing altitude. Looks like 94% is magic on our descent velocity. We want our throttle right at 94% in the future. Allows a perfectly controlled descent. We are currently on the side lab. Whoa, Jeb. Quite a fall there, buddy. I don't think we can get back up there. We'll have to recover the craft separately. I haven't got ladders yet. That's something I should unlock next, is ladders, so that Jeb can climb back into his ship. So we'll recover Jeb from the top of the roof first. And then we'll recover the loaded hopper. And we're now up to 79 science. I don't think that's anything enough to unlock anything yet. Nope, we need 160 for unlocks. Now we've got everything else unlocked prior to it. Hey, I do have some ladders. Yeah, I can fix that problem. I don't know how well that will work, but we'll give it a try. I'll try to rotate that chest a little. Now, hopefully Jill will be able to climb back up using that. If he ever falls off again. We got the side lab. Now we're looking for the wind tunnel, it looks like. What would the wind tunnel be? I want to guess it's probably this building. No, that's the main building, isn't it? Wind tunnel, wind tunnel, wind tunnel. Where would the wind tunnel be? Whoa. Oh, boom. Out of control. Boom. Hmm. I can't. I thought there was supposed to be like some sort of wind turbine that told you that you were at the wind tunnel. But I haven't located anything that looks like a wind turbine yet. Well, too impatient. Didn't even get off the runway that time. That's pretty bad. All right, spin up already. Take forever. Oh, that's the problem. I didn't have the SAS on. That'll do it. All right, we're good this time. I'm in the air. Okay, so we're going to just hover near the science lab. I need to locate the whatever thing is that indicates that that's a wind tunnel building. I wonder if that could be the wind tunnel. I doubt it, but it's still a different building, so it's likely to be something. Go ahead and land there. Remember, magic number is 94 to 93% for descent on the hopper. I'll probably upload this craft to Kerbal X later if any of you want to play with it. And we're on the roof of the whatever building this is. This is main building, so it is part of the same complex that the others are. Let's just take a moment to look around and see what might. Oh. Oh. That looks like a wind turbine. Doesn't look like it'd make for much of a wind tunnel, though, as small as it is. Never mind. I can see clearly what the wind tunnel building is now. It's over here. We need to land there. Get all these interfaces out of our way and let's move over there. Did not mean to right click on that one. Let's save the game. Okay, we now have set descent velocity, so we just gotta wait for it to fall. Few degrees makes a lot of acceleration difference on this graph. Like a few percentage points in thrust. We are dead on target. Beautiful. Okay. What building are we on now? I got a funny feeling this is the wind turbine building. And I am correct. That worked perfectly. If we can get it to do the same going back up now. Come on, grab it. Really? Come on, you can do better than this, Jeb. Oh, that was so close. Why can you not grab it? Like we only one more piece of the ladder. Oh, he got it. Oh, so close. Try one more time. I think he can get it. Come on, Jeb, get that high jump in there. No luck. Ah, come on, buddy. Saw you grab it once, I know you can do it again. There's nothing you can grab onto to climb. Nothing at all. Because literally, if you could grab anything, dude, you'd be up there. Oh, look. I have to recover them separately. I'm going to have to add an additional ladder. He still can't reach it. Alright, so I know the ladder works all the way down to near the bottom. So we need to extend it just a little bit more. Oh wait, I had unlocked ladders. I thought I hadn't yet, but apparently I have. Well, that might make things a lot easier. Too long. I think Jeb could possibly reach that. I also think my mouse is starting to go dead on me. We'll give that a try. Gotta be careful though, because those are not perfectly in line with the edge of the craft. Means it's more likely to go boom if it hits too hard on something. Alright, so back to the research lab. We are now trying for the R&D corner lab, whatever that is. Alright, so it calls it a corner lab, so I imagine it's going to be a lab that's located in the corner of a building somewhere. Maybe that. That looks like a corner. Same 4% rule we've been using on the other descents. This looks to be a slightly rounded roof. It is a slightly rounded roof. This could be a problem. Oh goodness, yep. So the only safe place to land on that one, given that it's going to be right here next to the tower. I wonder if the water tower is about. I don't think it is. So we're going to land on the flat part because the domed section is not stable to land on. We'll have to do a brief afterburn when we get close to the building's roof. That's just to kill our momentum. Oh goodness, we're hurt. We landed on the edge. Where are we anyway? I might be able to hop back up on there and win this wounded state. That was bad. Yeah, that's going nowhere. Alright, so we know that is definitely the corner building. Just a matter of being able to hit that square precisely. I came down a little bit too fast on it. Oh, great. Yeah, I screwed that one up a lot. Gotta stop being impatient. I do things too fast. Maybe I just need to get some clearance off the launch pad and then switch over to jet. That'd probably be smarter. Alright. There, now we're a little bit off the pad. We'll switch over to standard jets and then start going over to that corner lab again. And we will land it this time. I will make sure of it. .95 degrees, 95% is your descent speed if you're vertical, but you can still accelerate at 95 degrees if you even have a slight forward angle. Cause the lift from the wings. Here's the hard part. You can't see for crap due to all the smoke coming up in your face. I am definitely not where I want to be right now. A bit too far past where we're going. Right on the money this time. And there's our corner lab. Took a little work, but we got it. I get the opportunity to test our new landing, our new ladder system here. Kind of funky that the craft seems to have settled completely beneath. That's a weird thing way of going about it, Jeff. The landing gear, oh no, they're not beneath the ground, they just look like they were. Really, Jeb? There we go. Really, Jeb? I'm out of it already. There we go. Wrong ladder, Jeb. Unbelievable. There we go. All right. Now that we have all the science together, back to base. One more collection, and we should be able to unlock yet another science. You know, it occurred to me, now that we have the science lab, we should be putting an orbital station in place. Matter of fact, I want to go check and see if we have a mission for that before we proceed further with collecting any more scientific data. And if what I'm thinking is correct, then we might be putting up our first orbital station. Once it around the moon. First station around the moon. That's interesting. Challenging, but interesting. Too late for that tonight. We'll have to finish, we'll have to do the lab tomorrow. Matter of fact, now will probably be a good time to wrap up for the evening. I have an early appointment tomorrow to go to an inspection for my new house. So please wish me luck on that. And I want to thank everybody who stopped by to view. DFT, Obama, thank you both for coming. Thanks for everyone who attended. And if it's your first time dropping by, just go ahead and give a follow if you would like to see more. This is not my normal campaign. This is just an accelerated one that we're using as a temporary basis until we get near future technologies back in line. The actual main campaign has a bunch of stations already in place. So hopefully we'll have that back up and running soon. But until then, we had this to have fun with. It's been a pleasure. Have a great evening.